Hey friends, it's Diane, the Creative Inkster. Today is Tuesday, May the 3rd, 2022, and we are here for a Technique Tuesday. I'm going to do a fun fold card with you. This is a fold I haven't done in a really long time, and I'm kind of excited to do it. I had to actually look up the directions on how to do the proper cutting for it to make sure that I got that right. So I will be posting those instructions for you on my blog and linking you to my blog. So stay tuned for that a little later on tonight. But if you're out there watching, please let me know you're there. I love to know who's out there with me each time. And if you're watching it on the replay, give me a quick comment and let me know what you think of this card. All right, so here's how the double Dutch fold works. This piece pops up and these two pieces pop open. So when it's standing up on the table, the little diamond shaped piece holds those doors open. Isn't that cute? And I've seen it where people have done it this way, where the image is on its side and the doors open this way. I kind of like this version of it because it stands up nicely on the table for your recipient. So let's get started on the pieces that we need for this, because there's a lot of pieces. First off, I am using the new He's the Man designer series paper, and I wanted to show you that in this package, which you know we normally have 12 sheets of double-sided, this package has 10 sheets of double-sided and 2 sheets of these die cut pieces or punch outs. They're already die cut. These are super amazing. Like, there's awesome greetings, there's images that all go with the pattern paper's look and feel for your masculine cards, Father's Day, happy birthday, all kinds of you're awesome, thank you kinds of cards. And I love this idea. This would be a great class to have, don't you think? Where you don't need to do any stamping at all. You just buy the pack of paper and we make some cards. I think that'd be fun. So here's how one full sheet looks. My other one looks pretty messy because I've already used a lot of them. So I would recommend when you get it to find a smaller Ziploc bag and stick all your little pieces in so they don't get crushed. And here are the pattern papers. This is sort of the barbecue kind of look to it with some stripes on the back. This is some small squares, and then the other side has a tie and glasses, a mustache. So another sort of look and feel for masculine cards. For the person who loves motorcycles or cars or old cars, that kind of thing, this car paper is cool. And then there's just a general pattern on the back. So if you have some of this left over, you can definitely use it for any cards. Here is a nice pattern. And then on the other side are some diamond shapes. Again, I don't think this is particularly masculine. You can do whatever you like with it. And then this one for the camper. Again, not totally masculine. And it's got that beautiful pool party or mint macaron. I think it's mint macaron color tone to it. The back of that is some squares. So lots of things you can do with this. You're going to see me posting a number of cards with this suite. Let's get into our double Dutch fun fold card. So the first thing you need is a piece of cardstock for the base that is 7 1/8 by 8 inches. That's a kind of important piece because we're going to cut the doors out from it. And then you're going to need for the inside a piece of cardstock that is 3 3/4 by 4 1/2. And then you're going to put a white on there or vanilla that matches your paper. That's 3 5/8 by 4 3/8, and they're just going to layer together on the inside. For the outside, for your little flap on the top, you're going to need a pattern paper, and I went with the same pattern for both the top and the doors. So your DSP is measuring 3 5/8 by 2. And the other piece is 2 1/8 by 3 3/4, so it layers on nicely like that. And then for the doors, You're going to need some cardstock pieces which measure 1 5/8, 1 3/4 by 2 1/8. And then the pieces of Designer Series paper are 1 5/8 by 2. And they just layer on like that. So it's a smaller border because you're dealing with a smaller piece. So you don't want to have a thicker 1/8 of an inch all the way around border. And then for this diamond piece on the front, you need two pieces that have the same size. They are 2 3/4 square. So one is going to go this way, the other is going to go this way, and then just a little bit smaller piece of white that's 2 5/8 inch square. See how that's all going to come together? So let's do our scoring and cutting. That's the nuts and bolts of the card. So I'll grab my my trimmer with my scoring. So with this, we're going to put the 8-inch side horizontal in the trimmer first. So you want to get that right. 8-inch side horizontal, and we're going to score at 2 inches and 6 inches. So all the way across. 2 inches high val and 6 inches. Okay, so that's the 8-inch side scored at 2 inches and 6 inches. Then turn it 90 degrees so the 7 1/8 is on the horizontal axis. And we're going to score across the 2 segments here, but not the middle segment. Okay, that's the piece that is here. So we're not going to score across that whole piece. We're just going to score down here. So to do that, you're going to have the 7 1/8 inch side at the top, and you're going to score down at 2 3/8. So I'm going to kind of line that up, 2 1/2, 2 3/8. And I'm going to score from that horizontal score line to the end. So I'm going to stand up. I can see a little bit better. And I'm just lining up my scoring blade like that. You see how that's done? So we have a score here and here, but we're not scoring across this middle section. I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. So again, 2 3/8. And I'm going to score up from the bottom to the score line. So the good thing about using your paper trimmer here is you can lightly go and then go over it and make it a little bit of a stronger look there. All right, so these are going to be our score lines, and we're going to cut this piece off. So let me show you what that looks like finished with my scissors. What we have is these long score lines here and these little door pieces. The score at the door piece, the second one we did, we're going to cut across. You could do this on your trimmer if you want. I like the control of my scissors. So you're going to cut in for both of them. And then we're going to cut these long pieces off. So could have saved those and used them for something else. Uh-oh, wait a second. I've missed something though. Oh yeah, I forgot to do the score across the top. That's okay. We can do that again. I was wanting to be very careful not to have you score across where the doors are, and so I forgot to do the piece at the top. That's okay. We can do that in the second step. All right, so you've left with this piece that looks like a T. There's our doors. So we need a score line here, and that is at 2 3/8 as well, right? Is that 2 3/8? Yep, so we'll flip it over and we'll do it at 2 3/8. There we go. Okay, and that's the piece that folds down. See how that's coming together? And then our little doors fold in. Now, sometimes they're a little off and they're a little bit too tight one to the other. Oh, look at that, lined up really nicely. But sometimes, you know, when you're working with something that's handmade, it's really easy to be off by just a smidgen, or if your paper is just not quite cut exactly. All right, so this is what our finished card looks like. Now we're ready to decorate the fun part. All right, I'm going to line this up and give it a good press. And let's do the inside first. So on my other one that I did with the tea cup paper, I put a little greeting on the inside. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm actually not doing any stamping on this one. I'm going to use those greetings that come in the paper pack and make this really simple. So here's my white piece for the inside. I went over the sizings at the top of the video, and I'm going to put them in the description where you'll see them on my blog post, and you'll be able to write them down. See, this is going to fit nicely on the inside here. No dimensionals, because we don't want this to be popping up and taking up space. We want this to be flat. There we go. All right, so let's work on our little door panels. Our door panels are these pieces. I'm just going to see if there's an up or down to these. There really isn't. You can kind of put these any which way you like, which is kind of good, because invariably I will get them upside down. All right. So small borders. These are very small borders around them because we're working with really small pieces, so we don't want to have a huge border, and we need it to be a little tighter than that. Okay. I think this makes a really nice birthday card for the person who likes to barbecue, or a Father's Day card. This is going to be birthday given the greeting. And then this fits on the front, like so. I could keep this one for my son-in-law. Cheers to all your years. Well, he's only going to be 32, so that's not a lot of years, but I guess everything is relative, right? All right, so let's work with our top piece. This segment up here, we're going to put this on. I think for this one, I want to make sure that that pig is right side up. Add some adhesive to this DSP sheet and line that up nicely. This is going to go on the front. Coming together. Cajun Craze. I like Cajun Craze. I like fall colors. They're very deep and rich, so I do like the Regals. I know some people are not fans of Cajun Craze, but I don't know. It works for me. All right, we're getting there, folks. So here we have our three pieces. Now, two of them are exactly the same size because one is going to go on a diagonal, and this is going to help you keep your card open. So how I laid this down was the 2 points I lined up with the edge here of the top flap. See that? I kind of lined them up like there, so they come down evenly. So that means I only need adhesive on this bottom triangle. I don't want it here because then it's going to close up the card. I don't want to do that. Probably should be working with liquid glue. All right, so once again, we're going to line up our points. There we go. And that goes across. Oh, I should have maybe lined up the top and the bottom a little more evenly. So I lined up the points horizontally, but I want to line up this bottom point with where the two doors meet. There we go. If it was perfect, it would say Hallmark on the back, but it's not perfect. It's handmade by me. There we go. And I bet some fancy person could have cut this so that you got that piece all as one, but it doesn't work for me. All right, and so then this piece is exactly the same size, and we're going to put it square on the card so that these cute little corners will show up. And I think before I do that, though, I'll put the white down. So typically I do my stamping first on the white, but I'm just going to use a greeting on this one. All right, so then that goes on there like that. And then the cheers to all your years. It's going to go there. So when you go to put these triangle pieces together, again, you want to watch that you're not getting adhesive on the points, or that's just going to stick down. We're going to put it more on the inside. Just be a little mindful of that when you're doing it, especially if you're using liquid glue. Okay, so then it takes a little bit of wiggling and seeing that it's going to be even, and you got an even amount of points sticking out. There we go. This I think needs a little dimensionals, if they're still around here. I had them out last night. Where did they go? Oh, I got some over here. Okay, we'll pop these up. So last night I showed how to wrap a ribbon around the back of it. Could do that too here. You know what is a great fit to this is our faux suede ribbon. It's a perfect color to go with this. Oh, I didn't scroll down. There we go. Scroll down to see if anyone else is making comments. Oh, nope. Okay. Cheers to all your years. All 32 for my son-in-law. Okay, so there it is. Your double Dutch fold card. Here's another one I did with the teacup. It's time for tea. Thank you for your friendship. That's cute, right? You could add a little tea bag in there, and that would be adorable. All right, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate Val you being here and letting me know you're watching, and then anyone else who pops in to watch the replay. I hope you get an idea and get some inspiration from this. I'll wish you a good week, and I'll be back on Monday next week with another escape. Alrighty, take care, folks. Bye.